All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to take a classic financial book, Andrew Tobias's The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need, and boil down decades of wisdom into just the next 5 minutes.
But let's be real for a second. That immediately raises a huge question, right? In a world of crypto, NFTs, and super slick trading apps on your phone, can advice from 1978, the era of disco, actually be relevant? Can it really be the only guide you'll ever need? Well, let's see.
You see, the reason this book has stuck around for so long isn't because it has hot stock tips. It's because it's built on timeless principles that work no matter what year it is.
And look, the book hasn't just been sitting on a shelf gathering dust. It's been updated over the years to account for new things like mutual funds and online brokers. But the core ideas, they've barely changed. Because while the tools we use are different, human nature, how we think and act about money, that stayed pretty much the same.
So what is that core message? Well, it all starts with rule number 1. You have to build a rock-solid foundation. And Tobias is crystal clear about this. You got to get this stuff right before you even think about investing a single penny.
The absolute, 100% non-negotiable first step is this. You have to live beneath your means. Now, this isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself of everything fun. It's about being in control of your money, so it doesn't end up controlling you. It's the only way you'll ever have money left over to build with.
And while you're getting in control, you have to declare war on the #1 enemy of building wealth, high-cost debt. We're talking credit cards that charge you 20% interest or more. Trying to save while you have that kind of debt is like trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. It just works against everything you're trying to do.
So, this breaks down into a really simple 3-step game plan. First, just figure out where your money is actually going. A simple budget will do. Second, you gotta attack that high-interest debt like it's your job. And third, build yourself an emergency fund. That way, a surprise car repair doesn't blow up your whole financial life. Think of it as your financial armor.
Okay, once that foundation is totally solid, and only then, we can finally talk about rule number 2, the strategy. This is all about how you actually invest your money for the long haul and come out ahead. Tobias says there are 2 totally different games you can play. Real investing is a marathon. It's built on being diversified, being patient, and keeping your costs low. On the other hand, you have speculation. That's a sprint. It's fueled by hot tips and trying to guess the market's next move. And you know what? It's a game most people end up losing.
A huge part of that marathon strategy is diversification. You've heard it a million times. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. By spreading your money out across different things like US stocks, international stocks, and bonds, you lower your risk. So if one part of your portfolio is having a bad year, another part might be doing great, which helps smooth out the ride.
And this right here, this quote might be one of the most important in the whole book. All those tiny little fees, commissions, management fees, they might not seem like a big deal. But over time, they add up and can literally eat away tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars from your returns. Keeping your costs low isn't just a small detail. It's absolutely central to the whole strategy. Which brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle. Rule number 3, the mindset. Because once you've built the foundation and you have the right strategy, the biggest thing standing in your way is, well, it's you. It's the person in the mirror. Your own psychology can be your greatest asset or your absolute worst enemy.
We just talked about this, but it is so important it's worth saying again. You have to burn this into your brain. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The real magic happens over decades, not days. And the fastest way to screw it all up is to panic and sell when the market gets a little shaky.
So if patience is everything, who should you really trust to guide you on this long journey? Who is the absolute best financial advisor you could possibly find?
The answer, according to Tobias, is pretty simple. It's you. No one on this planet will ever care as much about your money as you do. Taking ownership of your own financial education is probably the single most powerful move you can make.
And you have to be your own best advocate. Because let's face it, the financial world is filled with conflicts of interest. Some advisors might push a product because it pays them a higher commission. So-called gurus make bold predictions that turn out to be completely wrong all the time. That's why you have to be skeptical, you have to ask questions, and you have to know what you're paying for.
Okay, so that is a ton of wisdom. I get it. But ideas are kind of useless if you don't do anything with them. So let's translate all this into 3 simple moves you can make, like today.
Here's your action plan. First, just get aware of the costs. Pick one account you have, a 401k, an IRA, whatever, and just find its management fee. It's usually called an expense ratio.
Second, make saving automatic. Set up a small, recurring transfer from your checking to your savings. Put it on autopilot. And third, start learning. Just Google low-cost index fund. It's basically a fund that buys a little piece of the entire market. These small steps build incredibly powerful habits over time.
Because that's really the whole message here. This isn't about some secret formula or finding the next hot stock. It's about starting the marathon one simple, smart step at a time. So, the race has already begun. The only question left is, what's your next step going to be?